Welcome back to the Brew Bucks podcast. My name is Jacob.
And I'm Alec.
On this podcast, we interview successful entrepreneurs, personal finance creators, speakers, authors, real estate experts, and everything in between.
We'd like to keep things casual here by cracking a beer with our guests at the beginning of every show. There's nothing quite like having a conversation with your friend while sipping on a cold brew.
If you're looking to learn more about money and entrepreneurship, all while having some fun along the way, this is the podcast for you. Welcome back to episode number 37 of the Brew Bucks podcast. Alec, how are we, buddy?
It's good to be here, but it's even more exciting because we're filming ourselves today. So
I know, we're on video.
Yeah, hopefully the crowd at home gets a good view of us. We are not live, so if we do anything bad, we can just cut it out, I guess. So, but the crappy part is I had to shower today. I had to do my hair. I got to look good on camera. I can't just come in here looking like a bum now.
I love it. Yeah, I'm excited to, again, just put another way for our audience to connect with us. And I think video is kind of a long time coming, so I'm excited we pulled the trigger and did it. Now people can actually see the beers that we're drinking and look at it and hopefully get somewhat of a better idea of what we're sipping on. So
this is true. And hopefully we didn't break the, if you thought we're really good looking guys, I'm sorry to bust you that we're just two average looking guys. So
I don't think they thought that at the beginning. I did wear a collared shirt today though, not for the podcast, but just because I got to go golfing straight after this. But
there you go.
Anywho, well, I figured let's keep the same routine going, you know, start off with our question of the day.
Oh, all right. What is our question of the day? Ooh, I got it right here in front of us. Our question of the day, it comes from Bree in Florida. So shout out to Bree from Florida. And the question is, what are common traits of successful people?
Ooh, this is
one. I like it.
This is a good one. I guess first you really kind of got to define what success looks like to you. You know, I don't think success looks the same to every single person. You know, I've got 80 employees that work for me, and every time I hire one, I ask them this question: hey, like, what do you think is going to make you successful at this job, or what makes someone successful at a job in general? And I think your job is only one piece of your life. So to say, hey, what's going to make you successful in life, I think is a really much bigger picture. But I'm definitely happy to talk on the what I think is going to make you successful in like a career, I guess. And so, I don't know, defining success, I think of someone who continues to get promotions, continues to get more hours, get more training, get better benefits. Someone who is positively viewed by their superiors, all that kind of stuff, right? And I think there's a couple really big traits that go into that. I think your coachability as a person is one of the biggest ones. You've got to be someone who can take feedback at the end of the day. I think the people that can't take feedback are the ones who really struggle to get ahead in an organization because people shy away from giving that person feedback when they know they don't take it well. Yeah. And so in turn, that person gets less feedback and grows less quickly, where the people that take feedback really well get more of it. And oftentimes it's not from superiors, it's from coworkers, it's from peers, it's from equals that's giving you feedback as well, because they want to help you, they want to move you up, they want to help you grow as well, you know. And so being someone who's coachable and takes feedback well is huge. And I would say, you know, out of all of the people that work below me, I think the ones that move up and the quickest and again make more money and get more training, things of that nature, are the ones who have that really coachable attitude, you know. And attitude's obviously a really big part of that. I think your dependability is obviously huge. You know, are you someone who shows up for their commitments? Are you someone who, you know, you're on the schedule, or you are, you know, committed to a project or something along those lines? And are you the one that's showing up for their obligations? You know, I think that's huge. Just being someone who's dependable and reliable.
Mm-hmm.
Your communication, people can't read minds, you know. And so if you're having an issue at home, or you're going through something and you're not, by no means do you need to, you know, share your entire life story or all your personal details, but again, just communicating how you're feeling, how you're doing, things that you're kind of going through, so that people can have a better picture of how they can help you. I think that's huge. But ultimately just being an asset, you know. I think all those are a good little list of things that I think make people successful and stand out somewhere.
Yeah, and I definitely want to kind of go back to the feedback, because we talked about getting feedback from other people, but I think it's very important also to go home and give yourself feedback. Also critique yourself and not forget that. I think that's what a lot of people forget is they put themselves on a pedestal and that they can't do anything wrong, they can't do harm, and they don't learn, they don't go home and critique themselves. Like, even if you have a good day at work, you should still go home and be like, what is something I still could have done better? And I think that's when you become complacent and you always think you're doing well, you're never going to move up as well. Just learning from your past too, I think is super important. And I critique myself all the time, so I think that's why I'm pushing this so hard, because I often get inside my head. I go home, I'm like, oh, I could have done this better, could have done that. It's really important to remember. But then I think, in the words of Ted Lasso, also you got to remember, what's the happiest animal on the planet? A goldfish, because they have a 10-second memory. And sometimes you need to be a goldfish. So don't also like critique yourself so much that you're going to stress yourself out and maybe make yourself fail. You also need to forget your mistakes sometimes and move on as well. So don't forget that.
Self-reflection is huge, but I think just kind of like what you're saying, it's important to button it up. I know a lot of people who kind of take their time on their drive home or their commute home or something like that, and that's their time to self-reflect, bitch and moan if that's what they need to do, and then be done with it by the time they walk in the door. Or for me, like, I know when I was starting out early in my career, I would get home, I'd take a half sheet of paper, I'd write down things I loved, things I wanted to work on, and just be done with it. At the end of the day, get home, first thing I do, button it up, put it away, and be done with it. That way, hey, my thoughts are on paper. I got it out of my brain. I've discussed how I'm feeling, and now I can move on.
Yeah, no, I think that's very important too. I mean, you definitely want to not take your work home all the time as well. So
it's not fair to your kids, your wife. Totally.
So, no, not at all. So
it's a good question. It's a good discussion,
and it can be taken different ways too. I mean, when you say successful people, that can be, what is your interpretation of a successful person? Is that somebody who has a nice, loving family, good kids and everything? Or is it somebody who has started their own business and is making $100K a year doing their own thing? I mean, it's just kind of depends what your interpretation of success is too.
Yeah. There's so many different facets of life that success falls into. It's hard to address them all, but I think, like, for us in this podcast, something to do with business, jobs, making money, things. I think that kind of makes the most sense for us. But there's obviously success in your family, success in your marriage, all those different types of things. There's many different levers to pull. So be fun to jump into some more of them maybe in a later episode.
Yeah, no, but definitely. And I think everybody we have interviewed on the show too has been very successful. And I think one common trait, at least, that I've seen through every person we've interviewed, is that they all have goals. And they all know what their goal is and they keep pushing for it. So I guess if you want to be successful, start with finding what your goal is.
And don't compare yourself to other, because comparison is the thief of joy. That's one of my new favorite quotes lately, where it's so easy to just, again, be thinking, hey, how do I get to this next step? How do I get to this next step? And never stop and just be like, hey, like, enjoy where I'm at, enjoy the process, and all that good stuff. So anyways, we're starting to ramble. So
well, shout out to Bree from Florida. Thanks for that question. That was a great question, and I'm sure it'll come up again. So
I love it. All right, let's do these beers that are sitting on our table.
All right, so let's see. Today I have a kettle sour for you, and it is from Pond Farm Brewing Company, located in San Rafael. It is called Sour Adversity. And if you can, I can show the can off now. All right, so we have a William Shakespeare on the can. I think that's why it's called Adversity or something. But yeah, so let's see how it tastes. And that is not overly sour. I didn't even read the notes. Sometimes I did notes before this. I just went to drink this one. I feel like it's almost like notes of apricot I get out of it. But it's not overly sour. It's a little bit mildly tart, but it's pretty good. It's a very drinkable kettle sour. I recommend it.
It's canned 3/19/21, so a year and a half old.
There we go. Sometimes you just got to pull them out of your fridge.
I love it. Well, I today brought special beer to me. It's called When Heroes Go, and it's got a drawing of Taylor Hawkins on it, and it's a tribute beer to Taylor Hawkins from the Foo Fighters. And I've always been a really big Foo Fighters fan growing up. It was one of the first bands that my dad sat me down and just pulled up on YouTube and was like, these guys, like check it out. Like, I still remember the very first time I watched the music video for Best of You, and it was my dad showing it to me on YouTube. And so I just feel like Dave Grohl's had so much loss in his life, and it's just it's tragic. And I know a couple people who went to the Taylor Hawkins tribute concert, and it was just, the videos were just insane how many people came out to show their support for him. And so Iron Ox did a beer Numbskull is their can artist, and he just did another phenomenal can art job, which is just looks so good. The description on the can: the music world lost a good one. Celebrities and bands come and go, but this one was different. A great musician and even better dude. I'd like to think he touched so many people in a positive way and was looked up to by the next generation of would-be rockers. His music will live on forever in the hearts and souls of all his fans. Thank you for everything you did. You won't be forgotten. A portion of these sales will be going directly to one of his preferred charities. R.I.P. TH. It's a 6.8% West Coast IPA brewed with Talus and BRU-1. And here we go.
And while Jake drinks this, I gotta say, him and I were actually lucky enough to have seen Taylor with Foo Fighters on their last tour just a few months before his passing, and so we're very blessed to have at least been able to have seen him and everything. So
yeah, agreed, man. A little bit of a cloudy beer. It doesn't have that same like citrus bite. It's not. I think maybe the carbonation's a little off, and that's what's kind of giving it that lack of like bite. But it's still good. It's a great drinkable beer. 6% is a really nice, or 6.8, I feel like is a really nice spot to be in for an IPA. Not too boozy. And yeah, shout out to Taylor. So cheers to Taylor, Alec.
Yeah, cheers to Taylor. I like that.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Well, so I guess we should probably talk about what this episode is about.
Yeah, what is this? Who's our guest today?
There is no guest today. Surprise. It's just Alec and I, and really, we just wanted to do an episode with us hanging out, talking, getting to see you guys. Well, I guess you see us.
Yeah.
But really talk about some things we've accomplished this year, things we're looking to accomplish next year, the future of Brew Bucks and what that looks like, and then just wrapping up before our winter break. So for those of you who don't know, we do go on a winter break and a summer break. So we take every June off and every December off. And it's just time for us to focus on, December is obviously crazy. It's really hard to book guests with Christmas going on and things like that. June, we want to be able to take some time off, have some fun, enjoy the sun, and ideally not get burnt out and continue to love doing this every day. So
yep.
I think that's kind of our main goals for taking a couple months off. 10 months out of the year is plenty of Brew Bucks months. So taking 2 months of the year off to, again, just hang out, be with family, live in the moment, all that kind of stuff. So
if you saw how slow I was at wrapping presents, you'd see why I need a month off for Christmas.
Alex, this is Alex first Christmas without us. Yeah, what, 5 years?
5 years. I know. Yeah. So in case you guys don't know, Jake and I did live together for about 5 years, and I did just finally move out. So now we actually have to plan these podcasts a bit more, and I got to make sure you can't just knock on the door down the hallway and be like, podcast time.
Makes it a little bit more difficult for sure. So why don't we start off by talking about the future of Brew Bucks and what some of our goals for 2023 are for the podcast? So what do you got, Alec?
Right?
Yeah.
Right
off
the bat, YouTube. I it's fun that I'm just watching myself. I got to get better at not watching myself on the computer screen, but I like that now the audience can see us. They can see us interact. Hopefully when we interview the guests, they can also watch the guests talk to us and everything. So I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Visuals are where it's at. So
yeah, totally. YouTube's having its second life right now, which we'll get into a little bit more in a bit. But I think it's so much harder to edit video than it is to edit like audio. It's a lot more of like a time extensive process. And so I think when we first started out and we were having to make like 10,000 cuts because we were effing up so often, it was a little bit harder. But now that we can do a lot more things in one single take, I think it'll be a lot easier.
We trust ourselves.
So yeah, I'm excited for YouTube.
Yeah, and most of those cuts were because of me, guys. Don't blame Jake for those cuts.
TikTok. So we'll be looking to expand and put some of our fun Alec running through the door videos onto TikTok, which would be cool. I've been very reluctant in moving to TikTok, but
yeah, well, Jake and I are old men when it comes to TikTok, so it's hard for us to move with the times. But now there's Be Reels. You know what that is now?
Be Reels?
Be Real, yeah. It's the next thing.
Oh, yes. Where you aren't you only allowed to take like 2 photos a day or something like that, though?
I don't know the rules. I don't have it. I just know you take a picture
it.
of the front and the back at the same time. That's all I know. So.
Same time every day, right?
I think so, yeah. Something like that.
Interesting. I definitely couldn't do the same time every day. That'd be hard. we're gonna revitalize our logos and merch. So I don't remember what episode Nikki was on, but I hunted him down the other day and told him he needs to update all of our logos and merch and just get it we did a Brew Bucks giveaway and we got some hats and shirts and stuff made. So if you're looking for some Brew Bucks merch, let us know. Happy to send some out.
Yeah.
Especially if you've been on the show, we offer free hat or free shirt to every person who comes on the show. So and just doing some more branding stuff I think is going to be big for us. I think working a little bit more with the sponsors that we truly value and I guess their mission kind of aligns with ours, I think is huge.
MeUndies.
MeUndies. not just, again, and I feel like we've been slow to move into like sponsorships because again, we don't want a bunch of ads like running throughout the podcast, but we also want to make sure that all these microphones and lights and things that we're spending money on to produce the podcast at least bring in some type of income, and
Yep.
so I think the best thing that again the audience can do is, if continue to share the podcast, rate it, get it into more hands, and anything that we do put on the podcast that is sponsored or has some type of affiliate link or anything like that is things that we really stand behind. And that's kind of why I've really stuck to capitalize and their, I guess, sponsorship right now. And that's because it's honestly such a great tool. It's free to use. It rolls over your 401k, completely free without you having to do really much at all. And it's just so important to make sure like 401ks don't get forgotten about, And
How many a year get forgotten about?
it's like $1.6 trillion that has been forgotten in 401k money. So
way too much.
So again, just continuing to be transparent in that aspect too. What else? I think we want to do some series type things. I think like we started with our local spotlight series, which has been kind of cool, where we interview some people in the community that are doing awesome things. I think a side hustle series would be really cool next, and just continuously having a rotating series of side hustles.
Some more half pint episodes where we just pick a small little subject and chat for 10 minutes.
Yeah, totally. Oh man.
Bless you. Bless you.
That's going to be hard to cut out.
Oh, we're leaving it in. We all sneeze. It's natural.
What else? I don't know. What are you excited about for 2023 for Brew Bucks?
I think I'm most excited for YouTube. I know I already said it, but I just think it brings a whole new dynamic to it. I'm excited for you guys to watch us at home, see how we interact with each other. I'm really excited to try to start doing a few more TikToks. I really enjoyed doing the bust through the door videos. I think it kind of shows how you and I are, and I think it's a fun way to let people learn in a weird way. So I'm about just trying to teach people differently, and that's kind of my goal, I think. So I think those little short 30-second TikTok videos would be a fun way to teach people, because finances can be boring sometimes. So it's like when you find weird ways to make certain subjects stick in people's minds, it goes a long way.
I can totally agree with that for sure. Yeah. Alec's going to get better at posting daily on social media. Yep. We'll see. Hopefully.
I'll start writing more TikToks.
But I think that's a good little list for Brew Bucks. We have a ton of podcast guests that we've got lined up. I guess a couple podcast guests or subjects to kind of throw out there that you can expect to be coming up. We want to talk more about real estate, a lot more about real estate. We want to talk about eBay resale, the ATM business. We want to speak with like a career coach, how to make money doing Amazon reviews. We want to do a crypto episode. There's a new platform, I forget what it's called, but a lot of people are like selling cards on it and doing like live streams for their
Whatnot.
What is it?
Yeah, Whatnot. It's like it's basically an auction website where you do live videos and you auction. It's mostly for collectibles, so like Funko Pops, baseball cards, comic books, all that kind of stuff, magic cards, and yeah, it's basically just kind of a social media auction website all wrapped up into one. And you kind of just get your followers and you do these auctions live and people bid on them, or you can do mystery boxes, all kinds of things. So it's huge in the collector community.
Yeah, so Doug's been doing a lot of that, and he's been killing it, crushing
Mm-hmm.
it at it. And so I think it'd be really cool to, interview someone or Doug, hopefully, in that space and just talk about how to make money doing that. Because I don't know, like he does magic cards and it's like just something he loves and he can just go stream for a while and make some additional money talking about doing something that he really enjoys, which I think is dope.
Yeah.
So,
It's a lot of fun. I've done some of the auctions before and bought some stuff off it. It's fun.
yeah. So if you know someone or Doug, just get your ass on here and talk about it.
Also, guys, if there's any subjects we've never done and you would like us to, write us in and maybe we can find somebody in that field, because if sometimes there's things we overlook that are very common jobs out there that people do. So let us know what you want to hear also.
Yeah. I think the best episodes have come from listener questions or things that they want to know about. So, again, you can always list your questions in the comments or in the show notes if you're listening on Apple Music or Apple Podcasts or Spotify. There's a link in there where you can pull it up, drop your questions. It'll ping us and let us know, hey, this is a question someone has for the question of the day. Or again, if it's a more complex question, we can try and do an entire episode on it. So
yeah. So big things in 2024 coming to Brew Bucks. So be ready, guys. Did
you say 2024?
2023. Whatever. I'm skipping a year already. I'm getting old.
Drunk already?
I'm turning 30 this year, so I'm afraid, guys. That's why I'm just skipping over this whole year.
All right. So I want to touch on some of the investments and things that I've been working on this year, because I don't know, I feel like
we interview other people, but we never ask what's going on in your life, what investments you got going on. So
yeah, so it's been a fun year. A couple big ones. Bought a YouTube channel, not this YouTube channel. It's a YouTube automation channel.
What's that?
So I don't know how many people are familiar with YouTube automation or how many have heard of it, but essentially how it works is you pay an upfront investment. The operator that we're working with, it's $25,000 for the channel, and they organically grow the channel over time. And once the channel is bringing in income through affiliate marketing, through sponsorships, through any type of different monetization strategies, you split the profits with the operator. You keep 65% of the profits, they keep 35%. And yeah, it's pretty awesome. There's a lot of money to be made on YouTube. And they post daily videos about all different kinds of things, and then they eventually decide, hey, this is what's kind of taking off on your channel. This is, that your subscriber base is really into cooking. Okay, cool. We're going to niche down and we're just going to do cooking videos. And so eventually, after about 18 months, your channel is like fully seasoned. At that point, normally you have recouped your entire $25,000 investment. From the 18th to like 24 month is normally like the break even period, which is an incredible, return. And at that point, after it's been fully seasoned, most people are seeing from, anywhere from like $2,000 to $3,000 a month in passive income that's coming from a YouTube channel. So pretty cool. Again, we don't decide on the videos. We don't decide on the name or the photos or anything. We have zero to do with the YouTube channel. It's me and a partner bought it together. And we just don't do anything. That they do it all. They source the content, everything, and just send us a check every month. So
yeah. And you said my two favorite words, passive income. I love that.
So pretty much the definition of passive, so again, it's just a really cool another bucket that we are putting money into to just continue to grow our numerous streams of income, And so if anyone's interested in YouTube automation, again, I'm happy to explain more or set up a Zoom call or whatever to give you some more information about it. Obviously, it is a pretty hefty price tag on it. But again, with the average return rate, for that initial investment, it's pretty awesome. So, and again, I just think, like I said earlier, I think YouTube's having its second life, and I'm gonna bet big on YouTube continuing to be successful. So, I think people go to YouTube to learn so many things. It's one of the biggest search engines in the world, you know.
YouTube Academy.
YouTube Academy,
Yep.
and things like this. Obviously, like for us, this YouTube channel again is just a way for us to connect to our audience. It's not this, oh, let's make thousands of dollars a year. It's a, you know, a way for you guys to just see us on video, but there's plenty of ways that other people are monetizing YouTube channels and making a lot of money doing it. So
yeah. So it's out there, people. And I'd never heard about this one until Jake did it. This is super interesting. And trust me, Jake could never start a YouTube page from scratch and do what's happening with his page right now. So it's pretty incredible what this company helps you do. So what else you got going on? I know you got a few other adventures, right?
yeah. So we are under contract right now for our first short-term rental, which is really exciting.
Woo!
So a couple of the details on it. It was listed for like 340,000. We got it for 305 after the seller's assist. And as I mentioned in, I think it was the last episode, we interviewed JD, and you know, again, he's helping investors get into their first short-term rental with, you know, doing the whole process from acquiring the property to furnishing it to listing it to managing it, all that kind of stuff. So we are deep in the weeds with it, and inspections already came back, and we're really, really good. The property's in good shape. It's coming fully furnished. It's 5 bedrooms. It's got that wood cabin vibe to it, and yeah, it's going to be awesome. I'm really excited about it. Even only at 50% occupancy, it'll cash flow about $1,000 a month.
We're allowed to say where it's located?
Oh yeah, it's in the Pocono Mountains in Pennsylvania. So it's on Lake Pocono. And yeah, it's super awesome. I'm excited. It's got a sauna, a hot tub, Pac-Man, a bunch of other different games that go with it. It's got access to like a big old pool and stuff. So should be awesome. And again, the cash flow on short-term rentals is so much higher than long-term rentals. It's definitely a riskier play. You got to be there's a lot of competition out there in the short-term rental world right now. But I really think that again, JD and his team are incredible, and just make sure that, hey, if you know the properties that you guys acquire are going to look good, they're going to have all the things necessary to be successful short-term rentals. So really excited about that.
Yeah,
I'm excited to have a place to go vacation, hang out.
Let me know when that blackout week is for us, and we can go hang out because it sounds like a cool place.
Yeah, totally. Well, I mean, we can make our own blackout week whenever, but
cool.
yeah, so I'm excited about that.
And by the way, guys, if you guys are interested in the whole short-term rental thing, definitely go to the notes of our last episode and click JD and talk to him, and he can help you out. He's amazing when it comes to this kind of stuff. His team is fantastic.
Yeah, even better, send us an email, send us a text or a DM, whatever, and we will introduce you ourselves.
Even better. I like that.
Yeah, that way, you know, we can again introduce you and explain who you are and get you in touch with the right people. So,
and we want to know who you are too. Well,
yeah, totally. And again, even if it's just you know, you want to look at some of the houses they have for sale or just understand more of the process. The awesome part is as a second home, you only have to put 10% down. So, you know, on a traditional long-term buy and hold, you got to put 25% down. For these short-term rentals, you're only having to put 10% down, reserving some capital, and just having a higher return on your investment, putting in a lot less. So, pretty cool. And JD underwrites every single one of these properties to make sure that it'll show you the exact breakdown of, hey, here's how much management's going to cost. Here's how much cleaning is going to cost, and giving you your full P&L and bottom line right there, you know, for every single property. So pretty cool.
Oh.
So if you're interested, again, let us know. We're happy to. I don't know. We just want to share the cool stuff that we're doing and get other people involved in whatever way we can, you know. So
we got nothing to hide. We're sharing all the secrets we have for you guys.
Still looking at a couple duplexes. Also looking in probably like Cincinnati, Memphis, Georgia, Alabama. There's a couple different markets that we're kind of building teams at right now to try and get into some more long-term buy and hold properties. And then last but not least, trying to buy some ATMs. So the ATM business is something that I've been looking a lot into lately. And it's someone I really want to get an expert in this field on the podcast because I just want to learn more and just kind of share how it works with our audience. But Essentially, like the average ATM gets used 8 times a day. The average surcharge for an ATM is $3. So that's $24 a day. And that's like $720 a month. Um, and again, you're not, once you acquire the ATM, which they're pretty cheap, they're like $2,200, you don't really have to pay for anything. You find a business owner that could also benefit from having an ATM, put the ATM there, maybe give them, a cut of the surcharge that you're charging. And so someone pulls out $60, you get $63 sent to your account. And so you have to restock the machine. Obviously, that's something that you have to do, but it's also a pretty passive way to make some additional money. And kind of a cool way to be able to part, because a lot of businesses can benefit from having an ATM at their establishment, whether that's a cash only tattoo shop or something like that, where customers have easy access to cash, right? And so that's another big area that I'm exploring right now. And again, like I said earlier, just trying to keep multiplying those streams of income.
Oh yeah.
So
So I guess with ATMs, you put your own money down in the machine, or how's that part work?
yeah, so you got to fund the initial, I don't know, $2,000 or whatever you decide that you want to put in it. But the less amount of money that you put in, the more you're gonna have to go back and restock it, which is fine at first. Start small and grow from there. Just keep reinvesting the profits into the machine, or um, you know, raise it by $1,000 for every couple months, or whatever it is, so that you're having to take less and less trips. But if you're someone who's low on funds and just starting it out, like, yeah, put $1,000 there, and then go in every other day or every 3 days, whatever it is, to restock it up. But and until you can slowly kind of grow that amount of money that you get to put in there. So
jobs are out there, guys. So you just got to find them.
yeah, there's a market for everything, Well, I guess lastly, to kind of wrap up our last show of the year, our last show of 2020, what are some goals that you have personally for next year?
I mean, personally for me, I'm definitely hoping to finally buy my first piece of real estate, hopefully buy a house and not have to rent anymore. It's just living in California, it's definitely kind of tough. Interest rates still don't like me, and just the price is all the prices in California are just insane right now.
What do
It's
you
just
mean?
not
The
fun.
$1 million price tag on a 3-bedroom house here is too much?
Oh yeah, with no backyard or anything, it's great. Yeah, so hopefully I can find something that I'd like to call home and not feel like I forced myself to buy some small little piece of crappy real estate for an obscene amount of money. So see how the market turns out the next year here. I don't think my girlfriend's gonna listen to this episode, so hopefully ask her to marry me in the next few months, and then I'm gonna have to start planning a wedding from there. So I think those are the two big things for my goals in 2023.
That's exciting, man.
Yeah,
That's
so
awesome. Well, and you're gonna pay cash for that wedding and that ring, right?
right, exactly. Or
love it.
open up multiple credit card accounts and just charge
Get all the
get all these
bonuses.
bonuses, and just who knows how I'm gonna do. I haven't decided yet, but
That's awesome, man. That's some good goals.
yeah. Well, for you, it sounds like you already got a lot of goals set this year, so I'm excited to hear what your new goals are for 2023.
I think biggest goals for next year, start cooking a baby. So hopefully over the summer, start popping out some children, or starting to try to have some children. I think that's the goal. Got to give all this money to someone one day, right? I think growing Brew Bucks is another really big goal of mine, just to continue to grow the podcast and do this every day. And again, it's one of my favorite things that we do, and the connections that we've made, the people that we've met, and the information that we've learned ourselves is just incredible. And so I hope to be able to continue to provide that, put it out there, and give back to the community, all that good stuff. And then try to acquire 6 more doors. I think that's the goal. Whether that's 3 duplexes or a duplex and a 4-plex or something along those lines. Would definitely like to continue to, I think, expand the real estate portfolio. I think that's a big goal for next year. And then, throw some ATMs in there too. So
yeah, I think all those goals are obtainable.
Yep. That, and continue to grow my marriage too. I think having kids can be a pretty big thing. And so I want to continue to just make sure the wife and I enjoy the first half of the year together, or, I guess our last couple months together before it's intruded on by children. But, yeah, continue to grow
Man,
together. And
it's just growing up, man. Having kids, it's weird.
yeah,
And start getting to that point, but it's fun. It's a fun journey. So
yeah.
well, I
So
guess before we go too, I mean, what you got any plans for winter break? What are your holiday plans looking like?
that is a good question. So, not a ton of holiday plans. I think generally every year we kind of spend some time with the in-laws, spend some time with my family, and I don't know, it's always a really busy time at work, so we really don't do a whole lot this year. Instead of doing presents with my side of the family, we're gonna take a trip to Hawaii. I think we're kind of all at that point where we don't need any more stuff. Uh, Especially like we're in a spot where if we kind of want something, we just buy it. And so we want to continue to focus on the experience side of things, doing things together, spending time together as a family, I think is really the biggest and most important thing for us at this stage in our life. And so we're going to take a little trip to Hawaii together instead. So
That sounds way better, truthfully. I hate how much stress goes into buying presents for people that it's like when you get to that point in life, you just buy it for yourself. I mean, everybody I know, you want a pair of headphones, you've already bought it for yourself. You want some shoes, you probably bought it for yourself already.
Yeah, it's way more fun for kids that don't have a bunch of money to go buy things that they want.
Yeah.
But then once you're an adult, you're like, oh, are they gonna love it? Or then you have to like be on the other side where you're really trying to like, oh, I love this so much, thank you. And it's like it's just such a fucking joke. Like
I hate like you open presents from everybody, they're like watching your reactions, and it's just awkward. It's like I don't know.
yeah.
Yeah, when you have kids, it's great, but I think once the kids kind of get older, everybody gets older. Doing the Hawaii trip is much better.
Yeah, time together is by far the most important thing, you know, spending time with the people that you love on this very limited amount of time on earth. So, what about you?
Me, I think just kind of like you, spending time with family. I don't have any plans to go anywhere. Excited to kind of hopefully we get some rain. I get to just stay and watch some Christmas movies. I love Christmas movies. So, but yeah, I mean, just I enjoy this time of the year. I enjoy the weather. I feel like it does cause some stress for people, but I tend to enjoy it. I don't know. I do like buying stuff for people, unfortunately, but it is fun for me. But yeah, nothing too crazy.
What are you gonna get, Celeste?
Well, since we did basically just move in together, we need a lot of household items still. So it's going to be buying adult stuff like knife sets. That's what I was looking at the other day. It was really good knife sets. So.
There you go.
Yeah.
I like it.
That's how you know you're an adult.
Yeah. Cool, buddy. Well, here's to a one more cheers to an awesome 2023 and to an already very accomplished 2022. Yep, got a sip on it. And let's get out there and crush it next year. Hopefully everyone has a really, really awesome holiday season. Thank you for listening. Thank you for supporting the podcast and allowing us to do this every day because it's awesome.
Shout out to all of you guys at home. You're the reason we do this. And I can say my favorite joke. See you next year.
Once again, thanks for listening to the Brew Bucks podcast. My name is Jacob.
And I'm Alec. Signing off.